I don't have the hard data on this, but I would say I probably make $400,000 a year off social media. I probably make chatbots probably makes me $50,000 a year, and the rest of the 17 million I make off email marketing.
Hi everybody, this is Carolina Millan and welcome to a new podcast episode. I am so excited about today's guest. It's the author of his newest book, How to Grow Your Small Business. He helps small businesses grow. It's Mr. Donald Miller. How are you today, Don?
I'm wonderful, and it's good to be with you.
It's great to be with you as well. I am super honored that you agreed to do this podcast, and it means a lot to me that I get to talk to you today. I'm sure you will bring so much value to my audience in Latin America as well. So thank you.
I hope so. I only wish I was there in person.
I know. Hopefully one day I can travel over there and we can do another follow-up.
There you go.
So let's start with, I'm super curious to know a little bit more about what you were doing before. Like, what was the turning point in your career that, helped you grow your own small business into what it is today?
Well, it's a meandering story, as a lot of us who are entrepreneurs have experienced. But I started out as a memoirist. I wrote books. Those books did very well. And I had to study story and story structure in order to write those books. And then I decided that got tired of writing about myself, and I wanted to write about how to invite customers into a story if you had a small business, and ended up having a company of consultants and coaches and freelance marketers take off. And so suddenly I've got, 800 people being certified by me and a staff of 30. And all of a sudden I was running a small business, and nobody starts a business because they want to run a business.
No.
And so I had to figure out how to do it and how to organize it in such a way that I wasn't always burdened and always distracted and always dealing with crisis, and that my cash flow was strong and customers were coming in and placing orders. My products were priced correctly. So I broke down that process into 6 basic frameworks on how to structure a business so it doesn't drive you crazy, so that it just operates like a machine and makes money. And I wrote about it in How to Grow Your Small Business. And so now I'm out trying to help small business owners actually get a hold of their business and get control of it so that it can grow.
Absolutely. What would you say are some of the main challenges you faced in that process and that you could help other people avoid?
Well, there's 6 of them: leadership, marketing, sales, product optimization, management and overhead, and cash flow. Those are the 6 areas of any small business. And a failure to understand how those 6 areas work are usually the reasons that a business crashes. I mean, if you look, in America, 65% of small businesses don't make it. And it's usually for one of 6 reasons, right? The leadership wasn't there. The marketing wasn't clear. They weren't selling anything. The products weren't profitable. They didn't know how to manage their people, or they just ran out of cash,
Yeah.
right? And so if you understand those 6 areas, and they're fairly easy to understand, your business is going to grow. And you're not going to make all of those mistakes that so many people make. But one of the big ones is that to understand that your business actually exists to make money. You can do what you want with that money. You can be generous with that money. But if you don't have some economic priorities and some economic objectives and some economic goals, for instance, we will grow by 50% this year. We will increase our profit margin by 20%. We will reach into a new demographic. We will have 5,000 new email addresses by the end of the year. All of those goals need to exist in order for you to pursue them, and they all need to affect the bottom line. So at least in America, I don't know about you, Carolina, but in America, people don't want to act like their business exists to make money. They want to kind of pretend it doesn't, and it's really not about that. It's about customers. To which I say, well, that's exactly why 65% of you aren't going to make it. There's nothing wrong with making money. It's a good thing. You can do what you want with the money, but your business is a machine that makes money, and you need to engineer it that way.
Absolutely. I think it's very similar in Latin America as well because there is such a negative vibe around money for some people, right? They see it as a
Right.
bad thing, right? So, what do you think people can do, when they say, no, it's about the customers, or no, it's about my passion, and they neglect that it's about making money? What's your
Well,
best advice?
hopefully it's about all of that. Hopefully
Well,
it is
yes,
about your passion, and
that too.
hopefully it is about your customers, and hopefully it is also about making money, because if you don't make money, you're not going to help anybody. You're not
Yes.
going to help customers, and you're not going to get to do your passion. So it's really more about being authentic and admitting the truth. What I love is a business that has a mutually beneficial vision. I am going to help you a great deal. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be well worth it. And you're going to pay me to do that. And so if you're honest about that and authentic and you tell the truth about that, you should be fine. The other thing is that if we're afraid to ask for money, or if we don't believe that we're worth the money, what that says to the consumer is my product isn't worth it, and I don't believe in myself, and you shouldn't buy it because I actually can't solve your problem. But when we say, no, my product costs $100 and it does this for you, we're saying it's worth the $100. I believe in it. You should pay for it because it will solve your problem. There's an air of confidence about ourselves. To people who are a little bit afraid to make money, because usually we're afraid to make money because it disrupts our social ecosystem,
Right.
right? Our friends might get a little bit jealous. Our family might say, wait, who are you to go out and make all this money? Or people might say, well, you're using people. That's the only way you make money. I would say to you, be one of the people who give money a good name. There are people who give money a bad name, and
Yep.
there are people who give money a good name. Just be one of the ones who give money a good name. Be generous, live within your means, don't show off your wealth, that sort of stuff, but have a solid foundation for you and your family and never apologize for that.
Can you tell us a little more as well about I also love the analogy of the airplane. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, which one of the parts of the airplane represents each one of the six steps
Yeah.
and why?
Well, when I first started growing my business, to be honest, it just felt like chaos, you know? And we were doing well, but it was just chaos, and it was very frustrating. And I had a friend say to me, he's kind of a mentor. He said, Don, if you really want this business to take off, you're going to have to professionalize your operation. And I'd never heard that phrase before, professionalize your
Professionalize.
operation. Yeah, but it rang true, right? Because as he said it, I thought, man, I do. This feels like I'm making money, but it doesn't feel professional. It feels like chaos and
That's where
panic
I'm
and
at. Yeah.
yeah, all that stuff. And so the next 5 years, I decided to start trying to professionalize my operation and realize that a business actually does work like an airplane, in the sense that you have to engineer it like an airplane. So there's a leadership part of the business, and that is not unlike a cockpit of the airplane. You've got to enter in the coordinates where you want that airplane to go. And once you understand where you want the airplane to go, you can put the right amount of fuel on it. You can put the right people on board. You can reverse engineer a plan to get there. And so if we enter the coordinates into our leadership, we are going to double revenue. Well, then you start engineering how to do it. We're going to sell more of this product, more of this product. We're going to expand this. And at the end of the day, we should see twice as much revenue coming in the next 12 months. Then you start making that happen. So that's the most important part of leadership, is actually having an economic vision for your organization. Then you've got this right engine out on that wing, and that engine is going to give the airplane thrust and move it forward and bring in cash. And that's your marketing engine. And so I have a chapter on how to clarify your marketing message so your marketing goes a lot further, or just hire Carolina to do it for you.
Oh, thank you.
The next is the left engine, which is your sales engine. And that's really how to have sales conversations or send out sales emails in real time with real human beings. And it's the marketing framework done for right there in the moment. That's that chapter that is printed in color. So those two engines are going to move the airplane forward, but we still won't get lift unless we have some wings. And so the wings are the products that you sell. And we need to take a close look at our products and ask ourselves, Do people want these things? Are they profitable to make? And is there anything we can do to make them more profitable or more in demand or create new products that make those wings larger? And once we have the wings, we get lift. But the body of the airplane tends to grow way too big the longer we run a company. So we've got to learn to manage our people so that we get the most productivity out of those people. And so I have a framework on how to manage your business, your small business, just with just 5 meetings a week. And then the final thing that we've got to think about is cash flow. And those are your fuel tanks. If you run out of fuel, you're going down. And so I teach you to manage your cash flow using only 5 checking accounts. And it works incredibly well. You never run out of money. You always have money to pay taxes. You always have money to make payroll. And you've even set money aside as a rainy day fund for yourself. So those 5 checking accounts really help you do that. And I teach you to do that in the final chapter.
I love that. No, that's great advice. And that's something that I've never quite been able to implement, like separate, like effectively separate. Like I have a business account, but it still gets mixed up with my own. So yeah, got to get to that chapter as well.
Yeah, that's the first thing to do is to separate those 2 accounts. But I'll tell you this, it gets really, really fun. I think chapter 6, which is about those 5 checking accounts, it sounds so boring, right? It turns your business into a game. And you start enjoying playing the game, and you start enjoying accumulating wealth. By the way, not spending it, because I don't want you to spend it. I want you to go invest it.
Yeah.
But you start enjoying accumulating wealth, and you feel so much more in control of your money, where before you felt like money was in control of you. But when you use these 5 accounts, you feel that you're in control of your money because you are.
Yeah. That's awesome. And a great way to get a lot of credit card points, I guess.
There you go.
Yeah, that too. So I know you talk a lot about email marketing and you use it a lot. I love email marketing. So what would you say to the people who are saying that, nah, email marketing is dead and the open rates are so bad and we should be only using chatbots and social media and WhatsApp and whatever. What's your take on email marketing today? How is it working for you still and for businesses that you work with?
Yeah, I would say, just hard numbers. Now, this is anecdotal. I don't have the hard data on this, but I would say I probably make $400,000 a year off social media. I probably make chat bots probably makes me $50,000 a year. And the rest of the 17 million I make off email marketing. So, in fact, chatbots and social media, they only help support my email marketing. The whole plan is email marketing. And the more people that do email marketing and the less people that open emails, the more effective it becomes, because fewer people are going to give you their email address because everybody's tired of it. But if one person gives you that email address, that is a hot, qualified lead. And so the less people who give you their email address, the more qualified that lead is. And what are we all looking for? We're looking for somebody who desperately needs our product. So, I'm an email marketer until I die. It's just never stopped working for me. It's the absolute most effective way to build a business.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And, I ask people, how many emails do you get a day? They're like, well, a lot. Why do you think that is? Because it works. That's why you're
true.
getting so many emails.
And a lot of us don't unsubscribe from them. Even if we delete them, we don't unsubscribe from that email list. And what we don't realize is all those emails that you're deleting without reading is the name of that company flashing into your eyes on your phone, and brand awareness stays strong even if they don't open the email.
That's
now
true.
if I don't get that email from them, I just bought something the other day. I bought a t-shirt from a company that's probably sent me 500 emails, right? And I've deleted 499 of them. And then I thought, you know what? My t-shirts are getting kind of ratty. I need a t-shirt. And I finally clicked on it. If they would have stopped emailing me, I would have bought a t-shirt somewhere else.
Wow. It's funny because it makes me think of, old-fashioned flyers. When somebody gives you a flyer on the street, you're like, and you throw it away. It's still flashed in front of your eyes.
You still looked at it.
It's
not a waste. Yeah,
before you threw it away. Yeah, so it's the same thing. And
so are you writing a book?
it's been on my mind for way too long. And in fact, that was probably my next question, your advice for people who want to write a book. And in my personal case, it always feels like such an overwhelming thing to do. I actually started a book like 5 years ago, and it probably doesn't make sense anymore, so I would have to rewrite the whole thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what's your process for writing books? And also, what do you recommend for somebody who is writing their first book and they feel overwhelmed by the amount of work?
Yeah. Well, try. I've got some advice on that. It took me a long time to figure it out. I mean, I've been doing this for 20 plus
You
years.
have.
But I think the key to writing a book, there's two parts to it. One is the actual logistical writing of the book. I mean, physically, what do you do? The other is how do you organize your thoughts? So the first thing that you want to do if you want to write a book is you want to pick probably 2 to 3 hours a day on a routine. So mine happens to be in the morning, from about 7:45 a.m. to 11 a.m., 10:30 or 11. I'm at the exact same table at the exact same coffee shop, drinking the exact same coffee and eating the exact same breakfast. I show up, I try to be there every day. I probably average 3 days a week because I'm traveling or something else is happening.
So you don't do it from
Uh,
home. You go to a
I
place.
physically go to a place
Okay.
to do it, and that has worked. I think I've written 2 books at that location, but I've always done it that way. It really was when all I did was write and I didn't have a company. I had all day to get the work done, and I found that to be horrible. It was so much harder to have freedom. But when I have to run a company and be a dad and be a good husband, I don't have time. And so that 2.5 hours that I've given myself becomes extremely important
Yeah.
because if I don't get this done in the next 2.5 hours, I'm not getting it done later in the day. I've got too much other stuff. So the busier you are, the better advantage you have at being disciplined. So job number one, if you want to write a book, is to create that habit. These days, probably 30 minutes after I wake up, I start itching to leave and itching to get to that table and itching to write. I want to do it. There's no discipline involved. It has become a habit. Now, really, what's going to make that habit a negative habit and it's going to make it very, very hard to establish that habit is if when you get to that place, wherever it is, it could be in your house, could be at a coffee shop, if you have a negative experience, if you sit and look at a blank cursor and you can't get anything done, or you write 3 pages and they're horrible, and you think, why do I even do this? So it's like becoming a runner. The first 3 months are not going to be enjoyable. But the way you do it is you say, today I'm going to run 50 yards and that's it. And tomorrow I'm going to run 51. And the day after that, I'm going to run 52. And before you know it, you're running 3 miles a day, but you have to slowly get there. And so I would say your job is to sit there for 2.5 hours, even if you're just looking at the internet or watching YouTube videos, but you are going to write one good sentence. And that's it. In 2.5 hours, you're going to write one good sentence if you're just starting out. Now, what's going to happen, Caroline, is you're going to write a lot more than one good sentence, but you
Hope
have
so.
done your job if you write one good sentence. You showed up, you stayed there for the entire time, and you wrote one good sentence. So we're going to lower the expectations dramatically. And what that does is it saves you from saying, this is overwhelming, I can't do it. You can write one good sentence. Everybody can write one good sentence. And if you do that about, I don't know, 6,000 times, you got a book.